Imagine a world painted in dull, colorless shades, a world where the vibrant colors of fruits and flowers have become a forgotten memory. This isn't a scene from some forgotten story. It's a possible reality without the tireless work of a tiny, often overlooked creature, the honeybee. These small insects are more than just makers of sweet, golden honey. They are the quiet guardians of our ecosystem, the unseen architects who form the very foundation of our food chain. Their gentle buzzing isn't just the sound of nature. It's the rhythm of life itself, a constant humming reminder of the complex connections that hold our world together. A symphony playing across every field and garden worldwide. Their story is one of incredible dedication, a journey that begins long before the first drop of honey is stored. Each bee is born into a world of purpose, a complex society where every individual has a role to play. The moment a worker bee emerges, her life is a whirlwind of activity, a tireless pursuit of a single goal, the survival and prosperity of her colony. She is a gatherer, a nurse, a guard, and a builder, all wrapped up in one tiny striped body. This society, this hive, is a marvel of organization and cooperation, a kingdom ruled not by a single monarch but by the collective will of thousands, all working in perfect harmony. The importance of these creatures goes far beyond the jar of honey on our breakfast table. They are master pollinators, the crucial link in the reproductive cycle of countless plants. As they flit from one flower to another, they carry with them the essence of life, dusting each bloom with the pollen it needs to produce fruit and seeds. This simple act, repeated millions of times a day, is responsible for a significant portion of the food we eat. Without the journey of the honeybee, our plates would be surprisingly empty, and the diversity of our natural world would dramatically shrink. Their flight isn't just a search for nectar, it's a mission that sustains us all. So, let's begin our journey into their world, a world full of mystery, wonder, and amazing secrets. We'll move beyond the simple image of the bee and the flower and dive deep into the heart of the hive, a place that is incredibly complex and intelligent. This is a story of survival, of complex communication, and of a natural alchemy that turns simple flower nectar into that golden liquid we call honey. Get ready to be amazed by the life of this humble insect, because its story is more captivating and full of suspense than any fiction. It's a narrative woven into the fabric of our own existence, a story worth telling. The making of honey is like magic, a natural chemistry that starts with one brave flight. A foraging bee leaves the safety of her hive and goes out into the big open world, sometimes flying for miles to find the best flowers. Her job is clear: to gather the sweet, sugary liquid called nectar. Using her long, straw-like tongue, called a proboscis, she carefully sips the nectar from deep inside the flower's heart. This precious liquid is stored in a special stomach, the honey stomach, which is separate from her regular stomach. It's here, inside the bee's body, that the change first begins, as special enzymes start to break down the complex sugars in the nectar. When she returns to her busy hive, the foraging bee doesn't just keep what she's collected. Instead, she starts a remarkable chain of teamwork. She finds a younger house bee and spits the nectar back up, passing it from her mouth to the other bee's mouth. This process happens many times from bee to bee, almost like a secret handshake. With each pass, more enzymes from the bee's glands are added, breaking down the sugars even more and reducing the amount of water. The nectar gets thicker, richer, and more refined with every exchange. This mouth-to-mouth transfer is a very important step, a group effort that slowly turns the watery nectar into something more like honey. Once the nectar is rich enough, it's time for the next part of this complex process. The house bees carefully put the ripening liquid into the hexagonal cells of the honeycomb, which they've carefully built from wax. But the work isn't done yet. The nectar still has too much water, which could make it ferment and spoil. To fix this, the bees become living fans. They gather in groups and flap their wings incredibly fast, creating a steady, gentle breeze that flows through the hive. This organized fanning helps the extra water in the nectar evaporate, a slow and patient process of drying it out. The last step of this intricate ritual is to seal the treasure. Once the honey reaches the perfect thickness, with about 17 to 18% water, the bees cover the honeycomb cells with a layer of fresh, clean wax. This cap acts like an airtight seal, protecting the honey from moisture and dirt, keeping it safe for a very long time. In this state, honey can last for years, even centuries, a perfectly preserved food source for the colony to survive the harsh winter months when flowers are scarce. What we enjoy in a spoon is the result of thousands of hours of work by countless bees, a testament to their incredible teamwork and natural engineering. The world inside a beehive runs on rules and ways of talking that seem almost magical. One of the most amazing things we've learned about bees is how they talk to each other. It's called the waggle dance. When a bee out looking for food finds a great spot with lots of nectar, she doesn't keep it a secret. She comes back to the hive and does a special dance on the straight-up surface of the honeycomb. The way she dances and how long she does it tells her sisters exactly where to go. The angle of her dance, compared to where the sun is, tells them the direction of the food. And how long the waggle part of the dance is tells them how far away it is. It's like a living map, a silent way of talking through movement. But the secrets don't stop with their dances. The way their group is set up is amazing in how well it works, all centered around one very important bee, the queen bee. Her life is very different from the worker bees. She can live for several years, while a worker bee, during a busy summer, might only live for 6 weeks. The queen's only job is to lay eggs, and she can lay up to 2,000 eggs in a single day, which is more than her own body weight. What's really interesting is how a queen is chosen. Any female baby bee can become a queen if she's given a special diet of something called royal jelly. This is a strong, protein-rich food that young worker bees make from their glands. The hive itself holds another surprising truth. Even though we think of the queen as the ruler, the real power is with the group. The worker bees make all the big decisions for the colony. They decide when a new queen is needed, and they'll raise one themselves. If the hive gets too full, it's the workers who decide it's time to leave the hive. This is when the old queen and about half the colony leave to find a new home. This way of making decisions is like a democratic vote, a group intelligence that makes sure the colony survives for a long time, often even if it means some individual bees have to suffer. Perhaps the most dramatic part of bee life is what happens to the male bees, or drones. Drones have only one purpose in the colony, to mate with a queen from another hive. They don't gather food, they don't protect the hive, and they can't sting. Their lives are pretty easy until it's time to mate. However, this act is deadly for the drone. After mating with a queen in the air, he dies. For the drones who don't get to mate, a similarly sad end awaits them. As winter gets closer and food becomes scarce, the female worker bees will systematically kick out all the remaining drones from the hive, leaving them to die in the cold. It's a tough but necessary process to save food for the colony. The complex dance between bees and flowers isn't just a beautiful sight in nature, it's a basic pillar that supports life on Earth. This relationship, called pollination, is a delicate symphony where both partners benefit. Flowers give bees the nectar and pollen they need to live, and in return, bees make sure the flowers can reproduce. This old partnership is responsible for almost 1/3 of the food that ends up on our plates. Every apple, almond, blueberry, and cucumber is a direct result of a bee's visit. Their work isn't a luxury, it's a necessary service that forms the basis of global farming and food security. The importance of bees goes far beyond what humans use them for. They are a keystone species in their ecosystem, meaning their presence has a very big impact on their natural environment, much more than their numbers would suggest. By pollinating wild plants and flowers, they help create healthy homes that support a wide range of other animals, from birds to small mammals. They help keep the genetic variety of plant populations, making forests and grasslands stronger against disease and climate change. The lively tapestry of our planet's living things is woven with the small, buzzing threads of the honeybee's daily journey, a duty they carry out with tireless beauty. However, this important symphony is now facing a serious threat. In recent years, bee populations around the world have been dropping at an alarming rate, a trend called colony collapse disorder. This decline is due to a mix of things, including losing their homes, using pesticides, climate change, and sickness. The chemicals made to protect our crops are often hurting the pollinators we depend on. The loss of wild areas and diverse flower landscapes leaves bees without enough food and shelter. The quiet buzz that has kept our ecosystems running for millions of years is getting softer, a warning sign we cannot ignore. The fate of the honeybee is deeply connected to our own fate. Protecting them isn't just about protecting nature, it's about protecting ourselves. Supporting local beekeepers, planting pollinator-friendly gardens with local flowers, and speaking up for more sustainable farming methods are all important steps we can take. The story of the honeybee is a powerful reminder of nature's delicate balance and our place in it. By protecting these amazing creatures, we make sure their wonderful journey continues, keeping the beauty and richness of our world safe for future generations, and letting their life-giving symphony play on.